Welcome back to our channel. My name is Chris, and today, July 6th, is the anniversary of the Battle of Greensprings, which took place in 1781. The battlefield's just a short walk from Jamestown settlement. Never heard of the Battle of Greensprings? Don't worry, you're in good company. It's not a battle taught in most textbooks. But you're in luck. If you'd like to learn more about this battle, our YouTube channel did a great video tour of the battlefield a few months ago. So if you'd like to learn more, we'll leave a link in the description below, or if you want to watch it right now, you can click up here someplace, and that'll send you right to that battlefield tour video. Today's video is a follow-up to that battlefield tour video, but instead of talking about big picture items like generals and regiments and battle lines, we're going to narrow our focus to tell the story of one single soldier who woke up on the morning of July 6, 1781, not realizing that his fate would elevate him to one of our nation's highest honors. To tell this Patriot story, we have to leave our car in the parking lot of Jamestown Settlement and take a short walk back in time to 1781. Our walk starts right here on the Virginia Capitol Trail at mile marker 0. This trail is an incredible resource as it starts here in Jamestown and runs 52 miles straight up the James River into downtown Richmond. Don't worry, we're not going to be walking quite that far today, but our round trip walk will be about 3.5 miles up the trail and back here to Jamestown Settlement. Our first stop is roughly a half mile from Jamestown, and it marks where the high point of the Battle of Greensprings took place. So here we are on Greensprings battlefield. This is the high water mark for the American advance on July 6, 1781. The Americans came through the field this way, the British came this way, and this is where they stopped the American advance. For most of the mortally wounded Americans, this was their story, and this is where it tragically ended. They were shot down here, buried here in unmarked shallow graves, never to be found again. But for our Patriot, his death and burial here in 1781 wasn't the end of his story. It was actually the beginning of a very long journey. As we continue our walk forward down the Virginia Capitol Trail, we're going to move forward in time just a little bit to 1978. That's when archaeologists from the Virginia Research Center for Archaeology unearthed this young patriot's remains. He was identified immediately as a soldier by the military waistcoat and breeches found with his remains. The remains were shipped to the Smithsonian Institute, where they were put in an archival box, placed on a shelf, where they sat unopened for the next 37 years. In 2015, scientists did an analysis of his remains, where they determined that he was a white male between the ages of 23 and 28. And based on a carbon and nitrogen isotope value, it was revealed that this soldier grew up on a corn-based diet, typical of northern soldiers, northern upbringing, which means he was most likely one of 22 Pennsylvanians killed at the Battle of Greensprings. In 2016, a year after the scientific analysis of his remains was completed, a decision was made to honor this patriot by placing him in a tomb with the designation of Unknown Patriot. To be honored with the title of Unknown means you represent every son, every husband, every father whose fate on the battlefield was never reported or witnessed or recorded. This unknown patriot shoulders the burden of being the resting place for every man who never came home from the war, every man who never saw victory at Yorktown, and every man who never saw the British surrender, every man who never saw the peace. The tomb is located at Church on the Main. On our walking tour, you're going to turn right off the Virginia Capitol Trail onto the Powhatan Creek Interpretive Trail. Follow this paved path for another 3/4 of a mile until you reach Church on the Main. If you wish to take your car to the Church on the Main, it is located on 2604 Sir Gilbert Loop in Williamsburg. I'll leave an address in the comments below. So here we are at the tomb. The inscription on the top of the tomb reads, "Unknown Patriot of the American Revolution. Fell at the Battle of Greensprings, 6 July, 1781. Thou that passeth, tell them that I died for independence." We're all aware of the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier in Arlington National Cemetery. containing the remains of unknown mortally wounded servicemen from World War I, World War II, the Korean War, and Vietnam. But there are also a few unknown tombs associated with the American Revolution, Revolutionary War soldiers who were never identified when their remains were buried. The most famous is located in Philadelphia and was dedicated in 1957. There's another tomb similar to this located in Rome, New York, dedicated in 1976. And the oldest unknown tomb associated with a Revolutionary War soldier is in Alexandria, Virginia, dedicated in 1929. If you know of any other tombs associated with Revolutionary War soldiers, please leave them in the comments below. This tomb of the unknown Patriot soldier of the American Revolution now represents all the Revolutionary War soldiers who made the ultimate sacrifice on the field of battle. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me today as I walked to this tomb to pay my respects to this soldier. The next time you're in Williamsburg, I implore you to come visit this soldier and pay your respects also. If you have any questions about this Patriot's journey or the Battle of Greensprings, just leave them in the comments below. Still here? Looking for some more information from us? Well, did you know that there is a tomb dedicated to French soldiers who were unknown, who fought in the American Revolutionary War? Stay tuned to our channel and we'll give you a tour of their grave coming up this fall.